Welcome, hi. It is Friday, September 14th, 2018, Silverlake, California.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you
for your time.
Yeah, thank you too.
And let's do it.
Okay.
Suzi,
Yes.
that's your real name?
Yeah. Short for Suzette.
Suzette.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. What or who inspired you to start making music, and since when are you playing, writing, and performing?
My big influence was my big sister, because she had a guitar and she had a band, and she would always dress really cool, and she was recording, and she would always, like, she started a band because she thought that there were too many boy bands in the neighborhood and there were no chicks playing punk rock. So she started doing that, and I was like, wow, you're so cool, And then when I was 15, she's like, you should be in my band. I'm like, I don't know how to play guitar. She's like, here's a guitar, join the band. So she put me in the band like right away. We started recording when I was 16. We got signed to a label. I was really scared the first time we recorded. Like, I was so nervous. I remember shaking in the booth, like, I don't even know how to play guitar. Why am I making a record? Like, this is so fucking scary. And then stuff just kept happening. Like, we had a lot of good luck, and we made a lot of music together. So
Nice.
if it wasn't for her, I definitely would not have ever picked up a guitar. I don't think.
And do you know who inspired her to do that? I mean, to play, your family,
I have
or
this feeling that she inspired herself. Yeah. I mean, of course, like, all rocker chick girls will say, we love Joan Jett, And, like, Chrissy Hines, badass. And, there are females out there, but she also really liked, like, Corey Parks, who played in Die Huns with Dwayne Peters. She's been a Nashville pussy, and Poison Ivy from the Cramps. Like, the really bad bitches of punk rock. Yeah, I think she just had a goal in mind that she wanted to be like a badass bitch in high school, and she went for it. Yeah, I'm really proud of her, actually.
Beautiful. Since 16, right?
Mm-hmm.
And do you remember your first show?
Mm-hmm.
When was that?
Well, she got me started by just playing like one song when her band that was already ready.
Mm-hmm.
She would just like call me up for one song to practice, like trying to play live, So the first time, I want to say it was like a backyard sort of like record party shop.
How old were you? 16 too?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And I remember like I cut up my t-shirt, made it look all cool, and wore a cool pencil skirt, flower in my hair, scared, We also played a like a high school not a reunion, a high school prom in San Pedro, down like at the what the fuck did they call it? The Ports of Call down there. There was like a restaurant that some high school was having their prom at, and for some reason there was a punk rock band playing, and that was us. So that was pretty cool because I never went to prom. I was already like touring, and I graduated high school early, so I didn't get to do that stuff. So it was cool to play somebody else's prom. Check that
Nice.
out. Yeah.
Promotion.
Yeah. Long time ago.
Okay. Third, which instrument can you play? Which instrument?
Oh, guitar. Yeah, but I mean, because of that, I can also play bass, and I can kind of fuck around on drums, and I get piano. I'm just not practiced at it. I don't have a way to practice it. It's not like an instrument I have, but it's one that I really want to learn. But guitar, I guess, is my main instrument.
Perfect. And did you learn how to play them by yourself or studying with a music teacher?
No music teachers. I never took any lessons. My sister showed me, like, here's how to make a chord, Now you just have to move them around and find things that sound good together. And then I learned by playing her songs that she self-taught to herself, So it was like a trickle-down effect. Only when I got older and YouTube came about could you start finding, like, I would be like, oh, I want to learn how to play this song, because I'm not really like an audio type of learner. I'm like a visual learner. It's a lot easier for me to see somebody else doing it, to pick it up. Hearing it, it's harder for me to pull out chords. My brain just doesn't work like that. So definitely, like, when I'm working with somebody else, I feel like I excel faster. And it's always good. You always get better when you play with other people.
What gender of kind of music do you like?
Oh, I love all music, but I guess what I prefer to listen to is rock and roll, but that's such a big, wide thing. You just, so much stuff is in it, you know? I love punk rock and classic rock and, you know, blues and soul and just music. Like, isn't music just one? Like, it's just one. Like, I love all music. All music. All the music.
All the good ones.
Yeah.
And how is your process to write music?
Yeah, it's different at, like, different times. Sometimes a song will come to me, like, in my head already, and I'll just hear it, and I'll be like, oh, I have to go find my guitar. And try to turn that thought into what it wants to be. Other times I'll sit down and just, like, start playing. Sometimes, like, I'll just like what I'm doing and kind of inspires you to take it somewhere further. And then there's, like, the other option, which is jamming with other people, you know, and you're throwing ideas back and forth. And all of them are correct ways to write songs, and I think it's good to do everything, you know, because it just makes you better. And you should just, I try to write a song, like, even if it's just a little thing, like a little fun thing, like every day or every other day minimum, you know, like play my guitar, try to write something, because you can't turn it away, and unless you're playing, it won't come to you, you know.
Nice. I have noticed you are left-handed player. Why?
I don't know. Well, because my hands work that way.
But also
God?
to write.
I think God made me that way. Yeah, I'm left-handed, so
Nice.
it's the only way. I tried when I was little, and I was terrible to play right-handed. And then I realized that when I was, like, listening to a song on the radio, oh fuck, that's how I'm supposed to be playing. Okay, so that had nothing to do with me or a choice or anything.
Okay. What would you recommend for kids that are starting to make music as a discipline to make music in their life? I mean, what's your advice for them to start music?
Just, like, to trust yourself, and, like, if you like it, great, keep making it. You don't have to make stuff that sounds like somebody else, you know. It's good to be inspired and to learn your favorite musician songs, so you can kind of unlock the secrets to how they did it, you know. And that's a really, like, satisfying, cool, powerful feeling when you learn how to play a song by one of your favorite bands and you're like, that shit's not that hard at all, you know. But just always be striving to make something that's, like, unique to yourself, you know, and not necessarily what you think other people want to hear, you know. Like, listen to your own gut. And if you're the kind of kid that just needs to practice 12 hours a day because you love it, do it. But I don't fucking play that much. Like, I play when I feel like it, you know. And it's a tool for me. Your instrument, whatever it is your instrument. So it's your relationship with it, you know. So just love it and enjoy it and be grateful for a gift. If you feel like you've got a musical gift and it means something to you, that's it. That's all you need, you know. Just do it because you love it.
Nice. And well, this is another question. How many records or albums do you have you made?
Total?
Uh-huh.
Okay. 8. But different types of things.
Okay.
Like, my first thing was a 7-inch vinyl with Savette when I was 16 on Disaster Records. And then we released a full-length record on Disaster Records. That's Dwayne Peters. He was like a skateboarder, punk rocker, super awesome, just legend of life. And then we got signed to Hellcat Records, and we put out a full-length album called Hell Hath No Fury. And then we did the second album, Love and War. And then with Turbulent Hearts, I did the Panic EP, the Crazy Girl EP, and the Rage EP. And then we did the 2-song 7-inch. So that's the amount of releases that I've been on total. I guess besides, I guess there have been, like, some compilation albums somewhere down the line where, like, a song is.
Okay.
I love recording, you know, and I just recently sang on my friend's band's album. They're called Informal Society, and they're, like, fucking coolest just real raw fucking street punk, like legit. Like I love their songs so much, and they let me sing on a song of theirs called Rock and More. So every time they play around locally and I'm there, like I'll sing with them. And so everybody should check them out because they're awesome. But that's like another thing, you know, I'm always doing little things, you know, just because it's fun and, you know, I like to do it. There's nothing else I like to do.
You have video clips, right? And what was the most funniest and difficult to make?
Probably the very first one, which is the Dear Sailor video, because that was 5 years ago when I first started Turbulent Hearts. And like I didn't really have a band. Like the guys that play in that video are like a guy I called who's a friend, not in the band, another guy, and another, you know, it's just like, it wasn't like and it was me directing it and editing it, because I used to go to LACC for filmmaking. So I learned how to make music videos. And so in school, I would take my project assignments and make them music videos and like double cross, like, well, I have to edit something anyway, I might as well do my own video, you know? So like editing and directing and filming and shooting and starring in and like all of that, and storyboarding and like shooting, you know, all of that stuff, and then releasing it, like those things are so cool. Like it's so much fun. It was really hard to do, but after that I was like, oh, I did it. Okay, cool. Let's make another one. You know, it's not actually as hard as I thought it was, but it is. It's a lot of time and effort to be in like a DIY punk band, you know, and that was 5 years ago. And now I'm at a spot where, as much as I love, and I probably will direct and edit another Turbulent Hearts video in the future, but it's nice to work with other people who are professionals and like to do all that stuff, and I ain't got time for that shit, you know? I mean, if I wanted to, it'd be a project, but, you know, it's fun to see how other people come up with ideas for videos too, you know, so collaboration.
Perfect.
Always collaboration.
And what was the best concert or show performance of your band
Of my band?
or you?
I haven't had it yet. It hasn't happened. Someday. My favorite show ever was the Misfits last year, New Year's Eve, at the Forum. That was probably my favorite show I've ever been to in my entire life. Yeah, but as far as having played my favorite show of all time, I've played a lot of really awesome shows, and I'm super grateful for every single thing that's ever, you know, come into my life through music. But, you know, you always want to do more.
Nice. Well, thank you, Suzi.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure.
It was so awesome to meet you. And
I have more
Thank
questions,
you.
but
We could throw in a couple more if you
another
want.
moment.
You feeling good?
Yes.
Okay, great. Hi.
If you could live anywhere else in the world besides the USA, where would you live and why?
Well, I really love Berlin. I like Berlin so much because it's just a very artistic, creative town. The people there have like an energy of like being very grateful for their freedom and their lives, and I just think it's beautiful, and I feel really inspired when I'm there. Yeah.
What is your favorite hobby?
Okay. Well, I mean, I do make art. I like to make different types of art, like mixed media art, like sometimes paint stuff or collages or all of that stuff together, or found stuff, you know. I do like to take photos, but sleeping might be my very favorite, number one.
What is your favorite TV show and what is the plotline?
Oh, okay. Well, I don't watch like a lot of stuff like on Netflix or anything, but there's a show called Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, and that is my favorite show of all time, to end all shows, the beginning and end of shows. It's the only show I need forever, and it's basically about a woman who's in love with a guy, and she moves across country because she wants to be near him, but she doesn't tell him that. She just plants herself into his life, and it's pretty crazy, and all this wild stuff happens, but it's just cool because it's written by a woman, it's directed by a woman. The woman who wrote it stars in it, and she sings, and she's just everything. And like there aren't a lot of TV shows that talk about that side of like women's lives, and it's funny.
What was the scariest experience in your life? Explain.
Scariest? Well, one time I was hit by a bus, And that was actually a Hollywood Bowl shuttle bus outside of the Hollywood Bowl when I was on my way to see Van Morrison sing Brown Eyed Girl. We were in the Uber drop-off lane, and somebody working at Hollywood Bowl said, "Oh, you guys can get out right here." So we got out right there, but it was also into northern-facing traffic, and I came out with my bag and stuff, and my best friend like screamed my name, and I turned around, and there was a bus like right there, so I just went like this, and it like hit me, and it pushed me, and I fell on my knees, and then I woke up, and there were like paramedics, and they took me to
You lost your consciousness
for like just a very, very short moment. Okay. And I don't know, I woke up and I was like, I'm fine, let's go to the show. And they're like, no, you're not fine, you're in shock, like you need to calm down and lay down for a minute. I was like, no, I don't want to miss the show, you know, we have all this wine and cheese and salami, you know, so it was fucked up, but they ended up wheelchairing me up to our seats, and we did watch the show, but that whole night was just such a weird blur. Like I wasn't even really there after that, and I probably should have gone home, but I was in this place where I was like, I'm fine, you know. And then the next day I was like, oh no, I'm actually covered in bruises and I need to get a lawyer, you know, which I did. So it all worked out in the end. Thanks, Hollywood Bowl.
If you could spend a day with anyone in the world, who would it be and why? Who will it be?
Anyone in the world that
And
I
why?
could spend time with, at any time with. I'm already around people that I love all the time, you know. I would like to see my grandma more. If I could be in Seattle and Los Angeles at the same time, that would be cool. Yeah.
If you were a teacher, what would you teach your students that your teachers have never taught you?
Oh, that it's okay to be wrong. Like over and over. You can just be wrong all the time. That's totally okay. You don't have to ever be right. That's not like the purpose of things. Like, it's as long as you learn something, that's good. And I have been taught that in different ways, but I don't think people are encouraged to fuck up enough, you know? And through fucking up, you're trying things. It's like, you know, when you're like a little kid and you take an egg out of the refrigerator and you drop it, you know, like, yeah, you broke the egg, but you just learned something about gravity, you know? So it's like, it's okay to not be perfect. It's okay to fuck up, but just try whatever you want to try if it's exciting to you, you know? There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, be different.
How would your friends describe you?
Empathetic, probably. I care a lot about my friends and the people in my life. They're very important to me. So I think they're a lot of times more important than me. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. I hope that they would say that I'm there for them, you know?
What is one thing that you have done that you will change if you had to do it again?
I can't talk about that.
Oops.
I would get in big trouble. There are very few regrets I have in my life. Like, I try not to have things that I regret, even if it's something that I know I did it bad and I fucked up. Like, forgive myself, you know, not regret, because everything you're supposed to learn from, again, with the mistakes and stuff. But there are like 2, maybe 3 things that I would not do again, but I don't want to share them because they're bad.
Oh, no. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
What is your greatest fear and why?
Well, I have a fear of like dying in an airplane, but the kicker is also in the middle of the ocean. Like, if we go down in the middle of the ocean, like, that is my ultimate worst fear of all time, because I hate flying. I hate being in the air. It's just the worst, most excruciating sensation, in my opinion. And then the ocean scares the shit out of me, because it's just so magical and vast, and we don't know anything about it, and like, I just bow to the ocean, and it would just, the combination of those 2 things, and maybe some sharks in there, like, that sounds like the worst possible thing I could ever imagine. But that's just dumb stuff, you know? It probably would never happen, so. I try to do things that scare me, so I always get on the plane, you know? And I would like to swim with sharks if it will help me not be so afraid, you know?
Would you rather vacation in Hawaii or Europe? And why?
Oh, a million times Europe and never Hawaii. Like,
What?
I would go to Fiji, not Hawaii. Hawaii is like Disneyland for surfer thinking American people. You know, it's just not really like, I mean, there are definitely beautiful places in Hawaii if I was able to go someplace like more remote and far out and like see the real island. But overall, like, poor Hawaii, you know, has just been like taken over. You know, it's kind of like how parts of Amsterdam are just like, it's not Europe anymore. It's like still, you know, you see so many people. It's like a theme park or something. But I love Europe, so I will always choose Europe.
Good.
Can't fucking believe it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi everybody, it's me, Suzi Moon. How's it going? Yeah, so I just wrapped up this awesome interview with Michael, and I gotta tell you where to find my music. The band is called Turbulent Hearts, and we are on Spotify. We're signed to an awesome label in England called Headcheck Records, and without them, we wouldn't have this awesome 7-inch vinyl out, or a 3-song deluxe 3P EP thing. They put out our merch. They're amazing people, and we're really lucky to be on that label. You can also find our videos on YouTube. Just type in Turbulent Hearts. We're the only ones. And we're just going to be out and about and touring a lot in the next couple years. So just keep an eye, okay? Mwah.
Thank you.
Thank you.